Good morning. Here's your very delayed video, sorry about that, for Algebra 2 Assignment 9. This is for today, Friday, April 24th. Quadratic formula. We've been doing it all week, so it should be familiar. The difference with today's assignment is that you are going to have imaginary answers, meaning there's going to be a negative number underneath that square root. And because you're in Algebra 2, we don't leave it like that. We go ahead and factor it out and get it all cleaned up. So let's go ahead and give this a shot. This one, all of these actually are already in order, so you don't have to rearrange any of them. You just have to make sure you're labeling them A, B, and C, and then you're plugging into the quadratic formula, which hopefully you are pretty comfortable with right now. Looks like this. So negative 3, because it's negative B, and B is negative 3, plus or minus the square root of negative 3 squared minus 4 times 3 times 8. And then you just want to clean up. So negative 3, that's positive 3, plus or minus the square root. Negative 3 squared is 9, minus 12 times 8. I believe it's 96, but it's really early and I haven't had coffee, so let's go ahead and check. It is, in fact, 96. All right, so there you go. Oops, and you'll see in this line, I forgot to put that all over to A. So put this all over 6, my mistake. Okay, so 9 minus 96 gives you a negative 87. So you get 3 plus or minus the square root of negative 87 all over 6. I do not believe that there are any perfect squares in negative 87, so we're just going to clean out that negative. So 3 plus or minus the square root of 87 times the square root of negative 1 over 6 is 3 plus or minus I times the square root of 87 over 6. 3 and 6 you should recognize, hopefully reduce. So you get 1/2 plus or minus I radical 87 over 6. Okay? It's not pretty. It isn't going to be a pretty answer for any of these. So we're just going to try a couple more of these together. We are going to look at number 5. And I'm probably going to help you set up number 6, and we will also do number 3. And I'm just moving my way down so that the camera isn't all over the place. So we're going to look at number 5 next. And again, they're all set up for you. This is A, this is B, this is C. So negative 4 plus or minus your square root of negative 4 squared minus, 4 times A times C. And don't do what I did the first time. Don't forget that it's over 2A. That's a really weird 4, but 2A. All right, so clean it up. Negative 4 is positive 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 16 times 11 is 176. And that's all going to be over 8. So 16 minus 176 is going to give you negative 160. So you're going to get 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 160 over 8. That does have a perfect square in it, so we're going to clean that up. 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 times the square root of 10 times the square root of negative 1 all over 8. So that should not be a negative 16. Sorry, that's a positive. Okay, so then you're going to say 4 plus or minus. This guy simplifies to 4. This guy simplifies to I. So it's going to be 4 plus or minus 4I radical 10 all over 8. And then you've got a 4 and a 4 and an 8. Those all can be divided by 2. So you get, or I guess you could all be divided by 4 rather. So you get 1 plus or minus I radical 10 all over 2. Okay, while we're here, let's look at number 6 because number 6 appears to be missing some parts. So you have 1x squared plus 0x plus 49 equals 0. This is your A, this is your B, this is your C. So now you can plug into your quadratic formula. Let's go ahead and move over here and work on number 3, and then I'll leave you to do 2, 4, and 6 on your own. Okay, so we've got a nice neat formula. My A is 1, my B is negative 6, my C is 21. So negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C all over 2A. So clean that up. You get 6 plus or minus square root of 36 minus 4 times 21 should be 84. There you go. All over 2. All right, 36 minus 84 gives you a negative 48. So you get 6 plus or minus negative square root of 48 all over 2. 48 has a perfect square in it. It is 16 is the biggest perfect square in 48. So you're going to break this apart, and it's going to be 6 plus or minus the square root of 16 times the square root of 3 times the square root of negative 1. So that is 4. That is I. And this is 2. So then we clean up. You get 6 plus or minus 4I radical 3 over 2. Sorry, didn't pull my video down enough. There you go. These are all even numbers. We're going to divide everybody by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Plus or minus 4 divided by 2 is 2. I radical 3. And that is your final answer for that one. So those are the steps you need to follow to finish 2, 4, and number 6. Any questions? You know where to find me.